Hey, we are back. Pewter Power, Mike Deeb, Joe Bell, Buccaneer football, sorta.
It's not sorta. I mean,
it is football, but
listen, I'll tell you what, and I don't want to get into it this segment because it's my bonehead, but we had the opportunity at the end of this game to win. We still had it even after the bonehead.
Yes, I agree.
But we had an excellent opportunity. Tampa Bay, with like 8 minutes left in the game, the defense decided, okay, it's time to stop Matt Forte.
As is their modus operandi, I mean, at the end of the games.
Now, I do say that Chicago did change up a little bit. They're up pretty handily by that point in the game, figuring they're going to just try and keep Tampa from getting too many points and close the game out, and ended up putting themselves in a pretty bad position where they almost lost that game.
Yeah, which
they really could have lost that game.
Which some other teams did do that this week, and we'll talk about that in the next segment. But
I mean, we looked at that with Tampa. Tampa had 30 yards rushing the entire game. 30 yards.
And Lumpkin had 15 of them.
And Lumpkin had 15 of them.
That's crazy.
And so did Ernest Graham had 15.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
You know, this is going to be a big week for them, the off week. Probably by the weekend into next week, they're going to most likely find another running back somewhere. No matter what happens, if they pull one off their practice squad, they're going to put another one on it. Because they're going to have to. Because at this point, they're really going to be down running back wise. Right. So, you know, that's a big loss for them, Ernest Graham, because he does a little bit of everything. He plays fullback, he plays running back. He's third down back out of the backfield catching the ball. Yep. So he's a big, big loss for Tampa to go into the rest of this season. And it leaves other teams a much easier time for them to work against Tampa on how they're going to play their game, because he made a big difference in being able to spread that offense out a little bit.
Especially on third down, because he was not only a blocking back, but he caught the ball well out of the backfield.
Correct.
And we haven't yet to see that from Lumpkin yet.
He could make a great chip block, roll outside, still catch the ball, and get 15 yards down the field.
You're right.
Which is what which we couldn't do this game, which was the kind of offense they wanted against Chicago. So you know Raheem Morris is on the sideline going, he ran out in the field. Yeah. He was like, oh my goodness, please don't tell me he's going to be out of this game. Yep. Because he knew where he was. He knew what he had left, and he knew he was going to be in trouble.
Yeah, because he said, I'd throw the dice, and it came up snake eyes, and now I'm done.
Luckily, they had taken the practice squad with them, but they were not active, so they couldn't use them in the game, because they'll normally...
So why are they lucky?
Well, just so they had them there.
Okay,
just in case. I don't know how that ruling works, but I think you could, if you run out of players, I think if they're there, you can activate them.
Really?
I believe so. If they're dressed for the game, I believe you can.
Badoo, go get dressed.
And that's get the
I
locker room
forgot my cleats, Coach.
Doesn't matter. You wear Ernest Graham's cleats, whatever you got to do. Get the guy get the runner's cleats, because he ran really well.
Next man up.
Next man up. Well, we were at next man up. Let me tell you.
We were at the bottom, man.
Well, let's look where we are right now. We have a schedule to put up on the screen. This is where we are. We have a bye this week.
Oh.
And it gets a little ugly for Tampa.
Goodness.
Now they're 4-3, but they're at New Orleans. Houston at home, who's played extremely well.
Good defense,
At Green Bay, who is 7-0.
Oh, my gosh.
Probably won't lose a game.
Yep.
At Tennessee, winnable. Carolina, winnable.
Maybe,
Jacksonville,
maybe.
Winnable, but on the road.
On the road.
Dallas, tough game. Carolina, at Carolina, tough game. And then we finish at Atlanta. I'm telling you, very honestly, this could be a 7-9 football team.
I agree.
With that finishing schedule. So we knew we needed to win some of these games in the first half. You know, we talked about this early in the season
and they did to a certain point.
They needed to be 5-2, 6-1 range. You know, they beat Atlanta and they beat New Orleans, which was surprising.
Right.
If we were going to lose two, that's the two I thought we were going to lose. I figured we'd win one or the other, and then win the rest out. And then win the rest out.
Yeah.
But they're not in trouble yet. They're still second in the division.
Right.
You know, they're. New Orleans is 5-2. They're 4-3. Atlanta's 4-3. They hold the tiebreaker.
We're not in dire straits. We're just kind of there. You know, and speaking
of that,
and the league's
pretty spread out. You know, we're going to talk about that in the next segment. That it's spread out, and a lot of the teams are in the same boat as Tampa right now.
And then with this, we're going to have a segment that Dr. Buck is going to explain what the prognosis of the health of the Buccaneers at this point on their bye week. And he's just going to go through it a little bit. And he's a renowned expert from Austria. And he loves football, so he just knows the Buccaneers. That's what it's going to do. Yeah, and then
I've never met Dr. Buck, so I want to make sure all of you out there know I'm not taking any responsibility for this whatsoever. There's a disclaimer that I had nothing to do with this.
Okay, well we'll give you that. So after Dr. Buck comes up, we're going to go around the NFL. right?
Yeah.
And then we're going to go into our bonehead and our scores. So we'll be right back.
We'll come right back.